Hey everybody, welcome back to our science demonstration, and today we're going to be talking about properties of matter again. Yesterday when you watched the video, the Study Jams video, you talked about the four of the properties of matter. You talked about mass. Hopefully you have your paper with you so we can kind of go over it a little bit. Mass is the amount of matter that's contained within an object. And remember they talked about the way it's measured is in grams or newtons, and the mass of an object never changes. Now, remember I told you yesterday too that weight and mass are easily confused. Now, the weight of an object can change. It's measured by the force of gravity pulling on an object. So depending on how much gravitational pull there is, that depends on the weight of an object. And that can be measured in pounds and grams. So I've got these two balls here. I've got a golf ball and I've got a ping pong ball. Now, the ping pong ball I know is hollow, and I know that the golf ball is solid on the inside. So when I'm holding these two, I can tell that the mass of the golf ball is more than the ping pong ball. Also, I could measure them both on a scale, and I would be able to tell that the golf ball also weighs more than the ping pong ball. So mass and weight are different. Weight depends on the gravity pulling on an object, and the mass is what is contained in the object. All right, so like weight, if I were on the moon, I would weigh less than I weigh here on Earth, but my mass would still be the same. Now, if I went to Jupiter, I would weigh a whole lot more because there's more gravitational pull pulling on me. However, my mass would still be the same. So I hope that kind of makes sense to you. All right, so we also had volume, and volume is the amount of space an object takes up, and that's measured length times width times height. And then we also had the density of an object, and that is determines an object's ability to sink or to float. So we're going to kind of play around with that today, and we're going to find the properties of a penny. So I've got my scale here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the weight of the penny. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my scale, and then I'm going to move this along. Okay, we're at 2. It's starting to move. 2, 1/10, 2 2/10. Do I have 2 2/10 grams? So if you want to write this down in your interactive notebook and go ahead and make a chart like I have up here, that'd be great. So the weight of the penny is 2 2/10 grams. All right. So now I want to find the density of the penny. I want to see, does it sink or does it float? So I've got my water here. I'm going to move my scale out of the way. And I'm thinking that it's going to sink, but I'm not positive. Yep. Sinks. All right. Next, is the penny magnetic? And there's a reason I skipped volume. I'm going to come back to that. All right. So I want to find out, is this penny magnetic or not? No. Magnetic? No. All right. Now, I'm going to rinse this off, and I want to find out whether this penny conducts electricity. So I've got a little setup here, and I'm going to try to light up this light, and I'm going to put the negative and the positive on here, and it lights up. So it does conduct electricity, so that's a yes. All right. Now, my last one is the volume. So I've got my graduated cylinder here, and I don't know if you can see, I've got 60 mLs of water, and I'm going to drop this in, and I want to see how much water is displaced or moved from when the penny is placed in here. So I want to see how much space this penny takes up and how much water it moves. So I've got 60 ml, so I'm going to drop it in, and then I'm going to read it. It's hard for me to read because of my bifocals. So I don't know if you can see, it is 62 mLs. So the volume is 2 mLs. All right, so we've kind of played around with properties of matter. Also, I think that I'm going to take this, I don't know how much water I'll get in here. I know how much water I'll get, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Probably not. So let's go ahead and see. Let's see the density and of these two, the ping pong ball and the golf ball. So I'm thinking that the golf ball is going to sink and the ping pong ball is going to float. You can try this at home. All right, I've got my golf ball, a sinker, and so my ping pong ball floats. So that's another way I can tell that the density is different of these two objects. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. You can probably do some of this investigation at home. I'm sure you have a penny. If you have just a cup, you could put it in there to show the density of it. You could play around with some of this. Try it with other objects. See if you can figure out density. That's one thing you could do at home. So I want you to make sure that you get that worksheet loaded up to my webpage so I can go ahead and grade that, make notes on it, send it back to you. If you have any questions, you can always email me and I will always get back to you. All right, keep watching and keep sciencing.